So listen to this. This guy builds a $600 million empire on a company that doesn't even exist. And he uses that fake money to create two of the biggest boy bands you've ever heard of, NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys. This is Lou, and his story is absolutely nuts. It's a full-blown masterclass in how to live like a king on pure imagination. It all starts in the 1980s. Lou isn't a music guy yet. He's just a dude from Queens with a wild idea. He looks around and sees people investing, saving for retirement, doing the smart thing, and he thinks, I can use that. So he creates a company. He calls it Transcontinental Airlines. Sounds legit, right? Big, official. He gets a real office, hires a few people, prints up brochures. He even leases a real jet to fly clients around and make it all look real. There's just one tiny problem. Transcontinental Airlines has no other planes. It has no routes. It doesn't actually fly anyone anywhere. It's a ghost, a total fabrication. But that's not even the real scam. The real scam is a savings program he offers through the fake airline. He calls it the Employee Investment Savings Account, or EISA. He tells people, mostly elderly folks in Florida, that if they put their retirement money with him, he can get them way better interest rates than any bank. He fakes insurance documents from places like Lloyd's of London to make it look safe. And people buy it. They give him their life savings. One person gives him a check, so he pays them back with another person's check. Then a third person's check pays the second person. It's a classic Ponzi scheme, one of the oldest tricks in the book. But Lou is a master salesman. He's this big, jolly guy. He throws parties, and he uses his cousin's name for clout. And his cousin happens to be Art Garfunkel from Simon and Garfunkel. He builds this web of trust and lies, and for years, the money just pours in. He's got millions of dollars of fake money from a fake airline. Now, what do you do with it? You double down. One day, Lou is watching TV and sees New Kids on the block. He sees the screaming fans, the money, the fame. And a light bulb goes off in his head. He doesn't see music. He sees a product, a perfect, shiny new way to hide his old, dirty money. He decides right then and there he's getting into the boy band business, so he puts out a casting call in Orlando, spending $1 million of investor money on a massive talent search. He's looking for the perfect 5 guys, clean-cut, can sing a little, can dance a little. He finds them, a Jay McClain, Howie Doro, Nick Carter, Kevin Richardson, and Brian Littrell. He calls them the Backstreet Boys. He moves them all into a giant house he owns in Florida. It's a pop star fantasy camp. They have vocal coaches, choreographers, the best of everything. They have no idea all of this is being paid for by retirees who think their money is safe in an airline that doesn't exist. Lou controls everything. Their schedules, their money, their lives. He's the 6th Backstreet Boy, the godfather of the group, and it works. The band gets a record deal in Europe and they explode. They are massive. Songs on every radio, videos on every TV. They are a money-printing machine. But one money machine isn't enough for Lou. He wants another one. So he does it again. He finds another group of talented kids. Justin Timberlake, J.C. Chases, Chris Kirkpatrick, Joey Fatone, and Lance Bass. He calls them NSYNC. He sets them up, gives them the same treatment, and unleashes them on the world. And they become even bigger. It's a full-blown cultural phenomenon. Lou is now the king of pop. He is Mr. Music. He is everywhere. And he lives like an absolute monarch. We're talking a whole new level of excess. He's got a mansion in Orlando with a water slide that goes from his bedroom into the pool. He's got a fleet of luxury cars, Rolls Royces, you name it. He owns multiple private jets. Remember the fake airline? Now he has a real charter jet company, all bought with stolen funds. He buys the Goodyear blimp hangar. He owns a production studio named after himself. He has a personal chef who is on call 24/7. He's throwing these insane parties, flying celebrities around, making deals. He is on top of the world, a legitimate entertainment mogul. But it's all a house of cards built on that one original lie. Now, you'd think creating 2 of the biggest bands in history would be enough. But for Lou, the scam is the real business, so he starts a new con. And he convinces his investors to dump even more money into what he calls transcontinental stock options. He tells them they're buying a piece of this hugely successful boy band empire. They think they're investing in NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys. But the stock is just as fake as the airline was. It's worthless paper. He's just taking their money and shoving it straight into his pocket. He's scamming his investors, and at the same time, he's scamming the bands. The boys in the bands are global superstars, but they're seeing almost no money. They're selling out stadiums, selling millions of albums, and getting handed checks for like $10,000. They start asking questions. Brian Luttrell of the Backstreet Boys is the first one to really dig in. He hires a lawyer, and what they find is shocking. Lou's contract is insane. It basically says he gets paid as the manager and also as the sixth member of the band. He's getting a cut as a producer, a promoter, everything. He's taking all the money, so the Backstreet Boys sue him, and it gets nasty. Then, a couple of years later, NSYNC looks at their own contracts and realizes the exact same thing is happening, and so they sue him too. The lawsuits are a huge crack in his perfect facade. People are now looking closely at Lou's money, and as they dig into the financial mess, a whole other darker story starts to come out. Former members of his other less successful boy bands start talking. They describe a creepy, controlling environment inside his mansion. They talk about a casting couch culture. Accusations start flying about inappropriate behavior, about how Lou would use his power to get way too close to the young, aspiring artists who were living under his roof in his total control. It's not just about financial fraud anymore. It's sinister. It's predatory. The happy, shiny boy band world suddenly looks incredibly dark. By the mid-2000s, investigators in Florida are finally putting it all together. They're not looking at the boy bands. They're looking at that original sin. Transcontinental, the EISA program. They uncover the 20-year-long Ponzi scheme. They realize hundreds of people have lost everything, and they have proof of a massive, long-running fraud. So they move in to make an arrest, but Lou is gone. He gets a tip that the walls are closing in, and he vanishes, just disappears. An international manhunt is launched. He's a fugitive. His face is on the news, not as a music mogul, but as a wanted criminal. For months, nobody knows where he is. They track him through Europe, then to Asia. Finally, a tourist on vacation in Indonesia is reading a newspaper and sees a picture of this wanted con man. The tourist looks up and sees the exact same guy sitting right there at a resort. He calls the authorities. And that's how it ends. Not in a blaze of glory, but with a tap on the shoulder in a hotel lobby in Bali. They got him. They fly him back to Florida. And the whole thing comes crashing down. The final numbers are just staggering. He conned over 3,000 people. He stole nearly $600 million. It was one of the biggest Ponzi schemes in American history. Here's the mugshot. He's sentenced to 25 years in federal prison. For every $1 million he paid back to his victims, he'd get 1 month off his sentence. In the end, he died in his prison cell from a heart condition in 2016. The entire empire, the jets, the bands, the fame, all of it built by Lou Pearlman, was a ghost.